What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, we have an official post for the Splinterlands Ranked Battle Overhaul, and there's some interesting new details here that weren't quite covered, so I'm not going to read this entire thing to you. It is a 9-minute read, so if you want to go read it yourself, I would highly recommend that, but we'll just kind of do an overview, and I'll give my thoughts as we go along, especially on those specific items that will be popping up or that haven't popped up before. So let's just go ahead here and see. Obviously, they're saying new player experience is their focus for 2024. This will be coming out after the current ranked play season on Thursday, February 29th, so less than 7 days. And they have 3 stated goals that they have in mind for this. Simplify the system as much as possible to make it easier for players to navigate, make it easier to identify and address issues for the team. Number 2, ensure that it is always in a player's best interest to get more or higher level cards and to achieve higher ratings. And then 3, create a proper rating system that accurately reflects a player's likelihood of winning a match and therefore makes matchmaking more fair. Okay, so we know that they are removing the league limits. This will be accomplished with the following changes. So there will no longer be leaderboards for any league except for champion, which is awesome. We knew that already. There'll no longer be maximum level limits on cards and penalties for low level cards. We knew that. Players will no longer be able to choose not to advance. We knew that. Matchmaking will no longer be limited by league. We knew that. But here's something new. The SPS reward pool for ranked battles will no longer be divided by league and will instead be one single reward pool for modern format and a separate single reward pool for wild format. So, I don't know how I feel about this yet. Obviously, there's definitely issues with the way things currently are. For example, I'm a player that's incentivized to stay in gold because I earn so much more in gold because of the fact that nobody's really dipping into the gold pool. Now, I thought that this would be solved by the fact that if you're forcing people to go up, then a lot of people in silver would not have any choice, right? And all the people, I think it was like 45 people on the stream yesterday, we were looking at that would technically be in gold from a rating perspective and would be dipping into the gold pool that aren't just because they want to stay in silver and get those leaderboard prizes, which again will no longer be the case. So they're doing a complete reset on this, and instead of dividing it out by the different leagues, it's just going to be one big pool. Now, obviously, with modern format, we know that there is a terms of service in place to get rid of bots or ban bots and be a human-only league or pro-human league. So I'm curious to see how this ends up playing out, especially as we get more newer players, or if there will be any kind of incentive for bad or exploitative behavior at the lower levels. But we'll just have to wait and see how things work out. So again, I actually don't mind it. It's just, it's solving a problem that I'm not sure we would have had, but I get where the team is trying to go. They want to just do a clean slate and then adjust from there. So we'll see how it works. So these changes work to address all 3 stated goals. First, the system will be much simpler and easier for players. Yep. Second, the system will allow players to benefit from higher level cards at all levels of play, which is something I think is great. And then third, players will no longer be incentivized or even able to stay in specific leagues. Please note that these are only going to be for ranked battles. Tournaments and brawls will still be league-based and league-capped. All right, now we are moving to a flat rating system. So it's just going to be if you win, you get 20 points. If you lose 20 points. Although there is an exception for people on a win streak. And I thought maybe it would be like, 20 points for your first win, 25 for the second, 30 or 30 for the next. But it seems as though if you're on a win streak, and it doesn't matter how many wins, it could be your second win or your 15th win, you will get 40 points instead of 20. And so we're just going to stay in multiples of 20 and 40, I guess, throughout. Now, Matt's saying here, while ELO works well for completely skill-based games like chess, it does not work well for games like Splinterlands, which have a significant luck component. Freaking RNG. Okay? But by changing to a flat rating system, we eliminate the situation where high-rated players get matched with lower-rated players and lose to RNG and then suffer a disproportionate loss to their rating. So we hope that this change will encourage players competing for spots on the champion leaderboard. This is something else to consider too. You have a lot of folks, not just in champion, but in leaderboards throughout, that just stop playing, and there's a lot of energy that isn't utilized, but at the same time, they're also not dipping into the reward pool, which now they will be. So it's like, yeah, the reward pool might go up in certain ways, but in other ways, you'll get more people playing. But either way, you want people to play as much as possible, so I'm okay with this. This should create more match liquidity at the higher rating levels, so I think that'll be great, especially in Champion. And please note that ratings will be capped at 5,000 for the purposes of calculating reward shares for loot chests. So you'll be able to get a higher than 5,000 rating, but your reward shares will be capped at that point. All right, so ratings will reset. Will be reset as normal at the end of every season. Okay, so updated energy, league ratings, and resets. Energy costs. So as part of this, we will be adjusting the cost of purchasing additional energy for battles. The cost will now increase at each tier within each league, so not just each league, but at each tier, so like Gold 1, Gold 2, Gold 3. This should make the cost of energy more consistent relative to the rewards as players move up in rating, and will lessen the incentive to stay at lower leagues in order to take advantage. So I think that's awesome. Also, and this is important here, energy will now be purchasable with voucher tokens at a rate of 100 DEC per voucher. Now, we have all these soft pegs for vouchers. Energy is going to be 100. The burn event was 50. Was it 50? Yeah, I think it was 50. And then you have, of course, purchasing packs at 200. So again, it's just vouchers are just this weird token. I wish they had kept it at 200, but at the same time, I can understand that would create issues of people just using a ton of vouchers and getting probably way too much energy. But and I'll save this maybe for a separate video. What this does make interesting is if you can value vouchers at 100 DEC and vouchers are trading at less, people will be incentivized to go buy vouchers. And if they can do the math, right, how much am I getting per win on average? And if I use this voucher to get an extra energy, will the ROI be there, right? Will I make more from a win or, an average win than I would from, selling the voucher, for example? Finally, we'll be adjusting the ratings ranges for Novice and Bronze. So it looks like Novice is getting extended all the way up to 260, which I think is good because then it allows for people to have a little bit more time in Bronze. That's what they're saying. Or sorry, in Novice before they just get thrown into the pit of Bronze. And here are the energy costs as well. So they got a nice little table here. Looks like the EOS resets are the same all across the board except for Bronze. I believe Bronze is the only thing that's getting a change here. So at Silver, you still start at 1,000. And then, yeah. Okay, so all that looks good. But what's interesting here is that it costs more DEC in Bronze now. Before, for all of Bronze, it used to just be 1 DEC. Now the minimum is 2, and the highest, if you're in Bronze 1, is going to be 10 DEC. So a little bit of that arbitrage is gone. Silver, I believe, used to be at 25, or maybe it was at 20, I'm not sure. But you can see Silver 1 going all the way up to 70. Gold, I used to pay 50. And maybe I should take as much advantage of that now as possible before it goes away. But you can see at Gold 1, it's 175, which is higher than than what it currently is for Diamond, which is 150, right? And then when you get into Diamond, it's 250, 325, 400, and then Champion is still 500. So, ultimately, this will probably end up being better now. The fact that you'll be able to use vouchers, hopefully people will use vouchers or end up burning more DEC. We'll have to wait and see how things play out. But, I don't mind it. I want the team to be able to just kind of reset as they see fit and then go from there. Future changes. The items listed above are just the first set of changes. In the near future, they're planning to release completely revamped reward system for ranked battles that will replace the current loot chest. They also want to add one-click set rentals. This is something that I really hope that they can do, especially if I want to fire up an alt account or something, to easily obtain a decent deck, and then an amazing new onboarding experience aimed at teaching new players about all the different aspects of Splinterlands. We've seen a couple of little pieces of eye candy when it comes to this from Nate during the previous town halls. That looks pretty cool for newer players. They end this out with some comments here. So with such a major change to the system, it is going to take some time for things to settle in after the launch, and we expect things may be a bit chaotic at first. So keep this in mind. Players' ratings do not accurately reflect what they're supposed to be at the moment, and it'll take some time for the changes to put in place for the ratings to be adjusted. So some people might win a lot early on. Some people might lose a lot. Just be patient with the whole thing. They're saying that after a season or two, they think people will have settled in where they are supposed to be. Because keep in mind, gold won't matter anymore. Especially, so for example, someone like me, I play in Gold 1 primarily, right? Gold 2 to Gold 1. And I do have some max level cards. So if I go up against mostly players who only have gold level cards, I'll be able to, use my max level cards, and I should technically be able to get past them. It'll be an exciting time. It'll be chaotic. It'll be fun. And we'll just have to see how it plays out. Additionally, we don't expect that this will be perfect out the gate. There will be some things that don't go exactly as planned. As with most changes, they'll be keeping a close eye on how things go and listening to the community for feedback. All in all, we feel these changes will significantly improve the player experience across the board and that they are absolutely necessary towards our goal of significantly growing the player base over the coming years. We're extremely excited to kick it off. I'm going to stop reading there because I'm just fumbling through it now. But all in all, really cool stuff. Again, I am very excited for this. I am very impressed with how quickly it came about, although I think I understand why the team heavily prioritized this over land or over any of the other things, just because, I mean, Bitcoin pumped all the way to 50K. We have the killer whales thing. Gaming is just one of the hottest narratives right now across crypto. So having this come out and having the team work the kinks out before, the masses potentially come into crypto gaming and crypto in general, I think is going to be really important. So hopefully we'll get, once this is out, we'll get more information on when the reward system, the overhaul to the reward system will go live. But, keep in mind that probably might not be for a bit, and they're going to have to make sure that this goes through without any major hiccups. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Just wanted to share the update here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.